What's up, traders? 5 total trades today, ending the day in the red. Let's get to it. Hey, traders, just starting with our trade here on SGMO. Pretty standard. Popped up. We had a nice little line here on the daily. Had a second one there, but it didn't seem to want to get there. It came down. It broke this area on the fives. We decided to take a chance, and as you can see, pretty much the theme of the day, as you're going to see, is faked out right away. Went back up to the highs, stopped us out, and that was our trade on SGMO. Obviously, it did end up working out after that fake out, but at that time, that's not really the trade we're looking for anymore, right? We're looking for that nice big volume pop, the nice extension, and we're looking for it to come back down away from that. But if it wants to pop back through high of day and kind of consolidate up here, that's not really what we're looking for. Our second trade was actually our only good trade today, our only winning trade. And it was on United Airlines. The airline started to move off the bottom here along with the SPY. And I don't know. I was looking for trades, couldn't really find anything. I was just kind of watching this. And as this made this candle here, obviously we had this nice resistance here from pre-market. Actually, it was after hours and pre-market this morning. And it started and it started to come back down here. I want to say, let's see what our entry was. I could have went back and checked the tape, but I want to say it was at 82, 34.82. It started to come back down, but then it went to high of day. It went up to 35, and as it was coming back down, all on the same 5-minute candle, I looked at it and I said, okay, if we get below the bottom of this current candle, which was at 82 at the time, we'll enter. And sure enough, that's what it did. And we jumped in at 79, and this thing pretty much came straight down. It came right down to this, as you can see, previous resistance here at 34.50. And so I decided when we got here, I was going to take off half my position, just seeing if we wanted more. This is actually when the SPY, if we want to take a look at it real quick, this is when the SPY pretty much went straight down from the highs. So this is all happening at the same time. And I was pretty confident that this thing was going to try to go with it. So that's why I took 50% here instead of 90%. And unfortunately, as you can see, while the SPY was going straight down, this decided to try to jump back up. We had our stop for the other 50% at our break-even point of 79, and this thing kept trying. I think it got pretty close. Yeah, 77. And once it tried it a couple times, and when it started to fail, I actually added the half back that we took back up here at 65, and I was still just risking 79. So I added a little bit of risk back just to see if we could get a move back down. Since it kept trying to get there and just kept rejecting, I said, hey, maybe this is the sloppy seconds, and maybe we'll get that move back down through that 34.50 area. Sure enough, it finally did start to come back down. We took half off again, and then I saw VWAP coming up, and we just kept on diving down. I said, okay, if we get the VWAP, I'm going to see what it does there, and if it feels like it wants to go back up, then we'll take it off. And it actually got below VWAP. It went down to 34. I was going to see if we could get down to 34. Not quite. It started to come back up through VWAP, so we took it off. And as you can see, we were at 34.21 is what we got there, and it did go all the way back up here to 34.50. Used that as resistance again, and then it ultimately did finally come back down. But pretty solid trade there on UAL. I was really happy with how we managed it. Once I realized the opportunity we had here, once we didn't get stopped out, when it came back down, we were so close to our original average and our stop that it can't hurt to add some shares there once we were convinced this thing was going to attempt to come back down. So pretty happy with how we traded that. We actually ended up making over 2R on this trade, which is what kind of kept us alive for the day. But then we went over to, after UAL, it was Facebook, believe it or not, and this chart's going to look pretty cool. Facebook, this thing absolutely took off today, and as you can see, it was kind of grinding, and then we started to extend, right? We had a nice little extension here, got all the way up there to 257.88, and look at the volume. The volume was there with it. So that's what we're looking at. If we look at this 5-minute candle here at 11:15, that should be this one, yep. So we were real happy. We saw the nice big volume pop, and we started to come back down. We used this as a 5-minute trigger, 256.64. We jumped in at 256.45. There was a pretty big jump down as we got in. It did work out for a little bit. It got down to 256.15. We were obviously looking for more. We were looking for VWAP. We were looking for previous resistance. You know, we were looking for way down here. It actually came back up, and it started to reject at high of day again, which is where our stop was. So we actually tried to add. It did try to come back down just a little bit. We were actually green again on this just for about I don't know, like 30 seconds, and then it went back high of day, and we stopped out. So took a loser there on Facebook, and as you can see, this is, you know, the benefit of having the set risk at, you know, the key levels, because when it gets there, you stop out, and then look at what it ended up doing the rest of the day. So the next chart was RL. So these last two trades were so frustrating. RL being the first one had a nice dip down, and we were using this as the 5-minute trigger here at 22. It printed, we got in at 24. It went up to 65.30, and that was it. Just immediately faked us out, came straight back down, kind of hovered around here for a little while, and then stopped us out. Did try to go lower, and then ultimately it did eventually try to get up there. Obviously we were looking for this move over here, didn't quite get it, and yeah, so RL, that was a quickie. And MU, this one's going to look even more frustrating, but again, I just want to show you on the way down, look at the volume increase, so that's a good sign that that's going to be a bottom, so that was why we entered there. Same thing with MU. Little frustrating. This one, the volume was a lot heavier earlier in the day, but on this nice little dip here, right, start to get extended away from VWAP, away from the 9, and the volume started to increase, right? So this candle here, 1230, 1230. So that was the candle we're looking at. That was the top. So usually you're going to get some kind of reversal. And this is kind of what happened on the UA trade or UAL trade, where the top of this candle was there. It came back all the way down, made the low, and then started to come back up. So at the top of this candle was where I was looking to get in, which was at 52. I saw a 53 print, and it went to 54, and then it came right back down. It actually came back down to 44, and then it finally, and on this candle it looked like it was going to be a fake out right away, but then it did get up to 62. We were looking for at least up here to 70, and we were actually looking up here closer to 85 where it's at now. And it just chopped around. Didn't want to give us the bounce at all. Started to form what really looks like a descending triangle, and we realized that, and we said, okay, well, if we break this key area here, we're just going to get out, because we felt it inevitably was going to go low of day, and we were right. So we actually saved ourselves some money there, because it did go low of day. As you can see here, it went down to 32. Low of day was 37. And what happened after that is, you know, just not fun to look at. So that was our day. Very frustrating. Lots and lots of fake outs, and you know, it really starts to just make you question everything yet again, but we're going to stick with it. We're going to see if today was just an odd day. The market was really low in volume today. It's kind of odd. So we'll see what tomorrow brings us. But yeah, we ended up down $33, and as you can see, I have two buttons on the montage here, one for 15, one for 30 for both short and long. And the reason behind that is, if there's like every trade I took today, I used the 15 because I didn't feel 100% confident in any of the trades that I took today. So that's why I did that. The 30, the max risk, is for the ones that I feel confident in, and I didn't feel confident in any of the trades I took today, and rightfully so. You can see why. So that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, suggestions, you know, whatever it may be, leave those down in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.